I'm Jack Plunkett, and we're going to talk about Chapter 4 of The Next Boom, the growing global middle class and their growing mountain of money. Now, what is middle class? Think of middle class as a household that has, at the very least, enough money to make a small amount of discretionary purchases. In other words, make purchases beyond the basic necessities of life. So on the lower end, that might mean buying small luxuries every once in a while, buying personal hygiene items that are above standard basic necessities, buying a little bit of extra food. Moving up the scale of the middle class, it might mean buying a motor scooter, buying a bicycle, doing something other than just walking or riding a horse. And moving up the scale further, it would mean buying an automobile, for instance, which is why China has become the world's largest automobile market, selling probably 20 million units in 2011, moving on up to 25 million units a year very soon. Middle class means having some money to do something other than the basic necessities of life. On the very upper end of middle class, it means taking vacations, buying modern homes, doing things like buying jewelry and going to the mall on a regular basis, which is why in China, again, you see modern malls going up at a very rapid rate, full of beautiful stores, full of merchandise, a lot of it aimed at the middle class. During the last boom, which ran 25 years from 1982 through 2007, literally hundreds of millions of people entered the middle class for the first time in nations like China and India and throughout Asia Pacific, in Latin America, and to a small extent in Africa. Let's talk about China for a while. I could wander around the malls of Beijing for hours. There's one, seems like, on every corner. These stores in the Beijing malls are just full of American, European, and Japanese goods. Stores bear U.S. brand names like Polo, Ralph Lauren, Tiffany, Starbucks, Nike, Kodak, and Sizzler Steakhouses, of all things. In the stores and the general merchandise places, you'll find lots of products with American consumer brands on them, like Gillette, Kleenex, Oreos, Ritz crackers, Apple products, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Hershey. There are big Hershey stores downtown. At the airports, I'm greeted by massive graphic signs advertising Cadillacs and other American car brands. China's crazy for U.S. basketball and American basketball stars. In fact, downtown in their busiest cities, you'll see giant NBA stores carrying logoed merchandise and huge graphics of American basketball players. Multinational companies are enjoying high levels of sales. Companies like Danone, Coca-Cola, and Nestle in the food sector, Kimberly-Clark in paper goods, and tech companies like HP, Sharp, Samsung, and Philips. Food and food products are a massive marketplace in China already. For instance, America's Yum restaurants, Y-U-M, exclamation point, own KFC. What you may not know is they have over 3,000 KFC restaurants today in China in over 650 cities. And they're growing so quickly in China that during 2010 they were opening an average of one restaurant every day. It's a huge food products market. In fact, Nabisco has a 3,000-person manufacturing plant in China where they make processed foods with name brands you would recognize, but the tastes and packages are modified slightly to suit Chinese tastes. The world's biggest retailers like Walmart and Carrefour are opening large numbers of giant hypermarkets and supercenters in China. Procter & Gamble is already selling $3 billion a year worth of products in China. It's a massive market that's growing very quickly that companies that are multinational in nature and want to expand cannot ignore markets like this. They're absolutely vital to their futures. This immense growth in the global middle class is why there are already 5 billion cell phone subscriptions around the world. 5 billion, and 1 billion cars and trucks on the world's roads and highways. One forecast estimates that number of cars will grow by another 2 billion between now and 2050. We've seen a lot of changes in the middle class over the last boom, over the last 25 years, but it's only a down payment on the changes that are about to occur in rapidly growing markets and rapidly growing household income. The challenge for companies in mature economies like in Europe and North America is to develop innovative, value-priced, highly desirable products to sell to those emerging middle classes. The next billion car owners, the next billion internet users, the next billion consumers of household products, the next billion healthcare patients, the next billion buyers of insurance and financial products are all right around the corner, laying the foundation for the next boom. Thanks. Soon in Chapter 5, we'll move on to more things about growth in technology and how that will help the emerging middle class. I'm Jack Plunkett.